ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're ready.
All right.
Here.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Christina Collins with Honesty for Ohio Education. We have worked, this has been a collaborative effort. I want to make sure I mention all of our groups. So we have Pint-Sized Protesters. That's been helping us coordinate. We've got Red, Wine, and Blue, Indivisible Central Ohio, Ohioans Against Extremism, Columbus Education Justice Coalition, and Central Ohio Rank and File Educators. So lots of different groups tonight here to simply support public school students. That's what we're here to do tonight. The state just passed a budget that yet again underfunded our schools and our kids in favor of sending more money to private education and privatization. So we're here tonight to make sure that people that happen to attend an event that's going on, remember that public education is the cornerstone of our democracy. It is where we come together to learn about what we have in common. It defines us as who we are as Americans. It's the place where 90% of our kids here in Ohio choose to attend school. I choose for my children to go to public schools. So it is not the worst choice option in the state of Ohio, and yet it continues to be treated as such. So we are here tonight to say, this is the first choice option. This is the commonplace. This is where our kids go. This is where we've chosen for our kids to go. It is important and it needs to be supported. It needs to be well funded. It needs to be a priority in these conversations when we're talking about the future of education. It should be the baseline for the conversation around the future of education. So I want to stop there and just see what questions you have about the event. We have a variety of C3, C4 sorts of organizations here, so we're happy to answer questions and we'll funnel them to the right person. So let us know. Yeah.
First off, whoever's speaking, can they come a little closer to the microphone? And then with this event going tonight is kind of talking about the future of public education in the state of Ohio. What do you want that to look like? And what do you want the future leaders of the state to really take advantage of and know?
Okay. Go ahead. Grab me and you're like, I want to do this. Okay. So the question was, what do we want people to know about the future of education? One of the things that Honesty is working on is actually reaching out to Ohioans across demographics, across geographies, and across political perspectives to find out what people actually do care about when it comes to their public education system. But what we know, data has told us consistently, people support their public schools, and public schools serve greater purposes than just educating kids. They're hubs of the community. They have pantries. They have school-based healthcare resources. So when we talk about the future of education, that should be a primary purpose in those conversations. What is it that our schools do for our communities? It's not just about graduating kids to go into the workforce or college and career readiness. That's not just what public schools do. They are a central hub to their communities, and we want to see that level of support from our elected officials.
And what do you think the future of public education, of education in Ohio, would look like under a Governor Vivek Ramaswamy?
I'm going to give that to a C4. Let me actually hand that question over to Rachel. Do you mind taking that? Sure. From Ohioans Against Extremism. We're C3, so we can't comment on candidates. But I do want to say, from a C3 perspective, regardless of what party would be represented in this kind of an event, if the panel consisted of people that were known for not supporting public education, we'd be doing the same event. It doesn't matter what political party. We want to see our public schools supported, and that's a nonpartisan issue. Go ahead, Rachel.
Sure. Rachel Coyle, RACHELCOYLE. I'm with Ohioans Against Extremism. We're a 501c4 organization, so we can comment on the political piece of this. We don't know yet what Governor Vivek would look like, but we do know that an entire organization event was planned for tonight with multiple legislators, with multiple very prominent figures, and no one thought to invite anyone from public education, which 90% of our kids, that's the school they attend. So that either tells me that they forgot about all the kids in public ed, or they purposefully chose not to invite them because they don't see public education as part of Ohio's future.
How will you guys fight against it in the fairly probable chance that he does get elected? What are you guys going to do to fight?
I think the answer is that we're going to have to be very loud, but thankfully there are, 90% of the state sends their kids to public school. There's going to be a lot of very angry people if they have to face a governor who does not care about them at all and where their kids are going and whether or not it's safe, we're going to have to be loud. That has been what we've had to deal with the last several years, and we are prepared to do that again.
I mean, they seem like they're hell-bent on tearing apart the teachers' unions. Do you
Absolutely.
want to say anything about that?
Anyone want to do unions? I can do it if you want. Okay. So we are glad to be here with lots of our union partners, and it has been just terrifying to watch what has been done to the teachers union, both at the K-12 level and at the higher education level. Our professors, our educators are under attack just as much as the students are. And the Columbus educators like to say that anytime the professors, the teachers are hurt, that hurts the kids. If the teachers are always worried about their job or always having to worry about making sure everybody teaches to the test, the kids aren't going to get the same level of education either. So we are absolutely going to be working with unions. Anytime they're under attack, our teachers are under attack, so are the kids.
And I want to mention too, the overregulation on our public school system is not the same regulation of our private school system. So our public school teachers are having to respond to legislative changes all the time. Everything from curriculum to the culture war issues. Legislation is constantly being passed that is impacting our public school systems that's not at all impacting the private school systems. So that overregulation is really hurting our public schools and our public school students.
Are you hoping to collaborate with the charter schools and the legislatures? And what would that look like?
I can speak on behalf of Honesty. We are not anti-choice. We're not an anti-choice organization, but we do understand that there are real impacts of sending more and more money to privatization and for-profit charter school operators. The impacts are what we're seeing right now. It's what people are saying about their property taxes. Property taxes are going up. Why are property taxes going up? Because the state is not properly funding our public school system. They're putting more and more onus, more responsibility for funding public schools on the backs of community members. So that all of this is playing into creating hardships, increased hardships on our public school system that are impacting privatization.
And Vivek has talked about supporting universal school choice, universal school vouchers. What would that mean in Ohio for public schools if he is governor and is able to get that through the legislature?
We actually currently have a universal school choice system. Anybody can choose to take their children to a charter school or a private school. In the state of Ohio, the vast majority of our counties actually don't even have schools in them that people can choose, but we have a universal choice. We have a universal voucher system. What we have not seen over the last few years as the choices have increased is kids leaving our public school system. I think there was a difference of maybe 3,000 students last year leaving public schools to go elsewhere. That is nothing. That is still nothing when we think about 90% of our students attending our public schools. So I don't anticipate that people will leave public schools in droves, but what is happening is the strangulation of our public school system. We've seen it in transportation. We've seen it in increased school fees. We've seen it in, again, the overregulation that's happening in our schools. And that creates more hardships for parents who are trying to fund the fees that are associated with school. We've got buildings that are falling apart, and rather than investing in those buildings and helping to support communities that are experiencing that, again, we're sending more and more money over to private school systems.
Thank you.
No, I was gonna. She said it. I'm sorry.
She's a school board member. Laura, the school board member.
I think it gets. I'm Laura Mullen with Red, Wine, and Blue, and I'm also a sitting school board member. I think it gets really hard to keep going back to our school districts asking for money, because that's the only well that school districts can go to. And so it makes it very difficult. Parents and property owners have levy fatigue. We need to fix that problem before we can talk about all of the mess that the legislature has created.
What's your message to any future governor of the state of Ohio?
I think it's core to what we're doing here today, which is that public education matters. It is important. And I'll say what I said at the beginning. Public education is the cornerstone, is truly the cornerstone of our democracy, because it is where the majority of us, I would guess 90% of us standing around here right now, it's where 90% of us went to school to figure out how to be a functioning adult in our society. It's where we learned about diversity. It's where we learned about collaborating with people. It's where we learned about how to work in the workforce. The message is that public schools and public school students should be our top priority when we're talking about education. It should always come back to what is best for our public school students, where 90% of our students attend in the state of Ohio.
It should also be, you shouldn't have a discussion about us without us. We should be involved in this conversation. We're all public educators. We have children in the school districts, and we weren't even invited.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
So 5:20 to 6, we'll be lining the sidewalks, and then 6 to 7 informal with some, anybody who'd like to speak will be doing it over here. Okay? Thank you.
Fran.
Thank you. All right, we ready for sidewalks? I gotta go pick up first round of pizza. Pizza will be coming.
So we're going to go line the sidewalks over here.
I'm gonna make a dragon! Answer why? Because I want to. Do you want me to help you?
Sounds good.
When our children are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! Whose schools? Our schools! Whose schools? Our schools! Whose schools? Our schools! Whose schools? Whose schools? Our schools! Whose schools? Our schools! Whose state?
Our state!
Whose state?
Our state!
Whose state?
Our state!
Well, Fund
our schools!
Fund our schools! Fund our schools! Fund our schools! Fund our
No more vouchers!
No more vouchers!
No more vouchers! No more vouchers!
No more vouchers!
Stand up, fight back! When public schools are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
United! We'll never be divided! The people!
United! We'll never be divided!
Sorry.
Pizza! I did hear someone say that. Okay, I'll do it.
Fund our schools! 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 No fascists! Kill those public schools! Our schools! Our schools! Our schools! Our schools!
They booted my ass out, Carol.
See? Yeah, they didn't let me in.
Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back!
Hey, supporters of education, thank you so much for being here and standing up. If you would like to speak, there's going to be a gathering at the tables across the street. Please make sure to take any water bottles.
Thank you. We are going to have just anyone informally who wants to come up and speak, just introduce yourself, maybe say why you're here. I just want to start very quickly for a quick minute before we get kicked out or something, I don't know. But I just want to say the reason that we are here today is because there was an event happening that it was about the future of education and didn't even mention public education and didn't include anybody on the panel, K-12 students, teachers, no public advocacy organizations. People were not included that were public education supporters. In fact, somebody just told me that he was actually kicked out from attending, even though he had registered, simply because he was holding a sign as part of the protest supporting public schools out front. So it's important what we're doing here. Public education, I've said it before, I'll say it a million times, is the cornerstone of our democracy. It is the place where we come together to learn how to exist in community with each other. It's the place where we come together to celebrate what we have in common as Americans. And the fact that it keeps being treated like the worst choice of all choice options is just it's so frustrating, because it is the best of the choice options. If we want to support choice, Honesty as an organization is not an anti-choice organization, but we understand that there are serious impacts when we pump more and more money into privatizing education and less money into the schools where 90% of our students attend in the state of Ohio. So we are here today to make sure that the people that just are going to and attending that event remember that public schools are important. And anytime we're talking about the future of education, public schools should be at the center of that conversation. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. I'm going to hand the mic over to anyone who wants it. I'm going to start with Rachel Coyle, with who's with a million organizations, but right now representing Ohioans Against Extremism.
You all are amazing. This is so good. I love that they did not plan enough to have 2 entrances to their event. So this is like, were you all here earlier when the press was here and they were asking us all those questions? One of their main questions was, why do you think, like, why are you here? Why do you care? And we were basically saying to them that there's only 2 answers to why we're here. One is they forgot us. They forgot that children, 90% of kids go to public schools and deserve to be heard. The other option is that they purposefully left us out of this meeting, that they purposefully don't believe that public education is part of Ohio's future. And both of those reasons are unacceptable. Both of those options are our reason for being here today. So, and you all made it look just absolutely incredible. Like there were hundreds of people. It looked so good. All the visuals, like we were going to be able to show this online. We're going to be able to show the strength of families and with kids. Like we made this a fun, family-friendly event because, again, 90% of the state's kids go to public schools. So we are here with our families, and that being seen is going to just be, that is going to get the message out to so many more people, to spread the word about this issue, to make it clear to every candidate for every office that they can't forget public ed. And that is just, I'm so grateful to all of you for being here. You're all amazing. And I'm going to hand it over to one of our many, many amazing partners who are here today. Thank you all so much. All right, the protesters, red, white, and blue. Yes.
Okay, friends, I'm Laura Mullen with Red, White, and Blue, and I am so happy that you are here. I want you to understand that all is not lost. We still have school board races that are happening in November, and we need to be paying attention. There are extremists who are running for your school boards. And so what I need for you to do is you need to go pull your ballot and look at who is running and do your due diligence. Look at who is on the ballot. When we elect extremists to our school board, expect extremist policies to go through. If you want book bans, if you want to push back against those, we need common sense candidates. We need your help to do that. You can go to our Red, Wine, and Blue Facebook page if you will get our Red, Wine, and Blue newsletter. I need your help to find these people. If you have intel, I'd be very happy to give you my business card so you can share that with me. We want to spread the word. We also have a brand new Red, Wine, and Blue app where you can also share this information with us. But it's really important that we don't lose sight of what's right in front of us, and that's the school board elections that are happening in November. And then we can focus on what's going to be happening in the legislature this fall. Everything that didn't pass in the budget is going to be attempted to be put through the legislature. So all those things we pushed back on, we need to stay vigilant. And so I really appreciate your attention. I'm so glad you could join us today. And with our partner organizations, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you go. What? No, I got you. Hello, testing. So, they wanted me to say a few words. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mike Harkness. I'm a teacher in Akron. I'm the first vice president of the Akron Education Association, the largest independent teachers union in the state. I'm also an SCRS board member. For those of you who voted for me, I appreciate your support. I was kicked out of the Hitler Youth Rally, or whatever you want to call that thing, because I registered under my union email, mharkness@akronteach.org. So they came and took me out of the event. I was already in, and they came and took me out, even though I provided all the information. So if we're about transparency and freedom, I don't know what you call that, but that's not it. You know, I look at it like this. One thing I've never been scared of is standing my ground. And this right here is a perfect example of what they don't know. If you stand your ground in today's political environment, they're going to stomp on you. And the only way to stop that is when we assert our rights. So we have to look at our messaging, but we also have to look at the way that we are getting people organized and on our side. We need to find level-headed people who are ready to fight. And I appreciate all of you that are out here supporting us, the teachers, the non-teachers, all those things. You don't know how much it means to us to see this. But again, I tell this story. I grew up in East Akron. My wife and I are both from Akron and teach in Akron. And if it wouldn't have been for my teachers, my coaches, and my parents, my life could have been very much different than what it is today. So all of you that serve and educate our youth, thank you. And we hope that we will deliver better results in these upcoming elections. But people got to start standing together. So all labor, all people, they need to be out here fighting for this, because we are the biggest target in the room, but we're not the only ones. We're just a test case. So remember that. Thank you all for coming out. I hope I got Chad.
Good evening, and I'm a proud member of I got kicked out of Vivek's forum on education, and you know why? Because I was standing with you folks. I'm a fellow educator. I'm from Columbus City Schools. 28 years as a Spanish teacher. I have witnessed how funding will destroy our district time and time again. Now we are on the downtrend. We have a $50 million deficit, and guess what? They want to cut more. They are such cowards, they're afraid to let educators in because they will not let anybody with a diverse opinion enter because it's their way or no way at all. We pay a lot in taxes, but what are they doing there? They're cutting sweet deals for big businesses and their friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I am an elect member to the STRS board. I will proudly serve with Michael. If you're not familiar with what has happened with STRS, it's a power grab because we finally had a majority. Teachers had their voice. 7 of us were going to work together to restore benefits that teachers worked hard and deserve. Now, under DeWine, Matt Huffman, and Adam Bird, they pulled that 1 a.m. deal, and now we are in danger of losing our majority that we fought so hard and worked so hard to get. Friends, I ask you, vote every election. Next year's election will be dire. Support the non-Vivek candidate and vote pro-education across the board. Thank you.
I'm for school choice. I just don't think we should have to pay for it. Public money for public schools. Period. I was fortunate to grow up in a family where my parents worked hard and saved money. America seemed pretty great then. Back in 1971, they were able to pay my tuition and books to go to a state university. It cost $180 a quarter at Ball State University in 1971. My entire first year of school cost less than $1,000. My parents had that. Today's kids live in a different world. They live in a world where Ball State costs $20,000 a year, and if you want to take a loan, it's going to make sure the bank makes us money. This is not just an attack on public education. It's a big attack, very much related to the attack on organized labor. General prosperity is not what they are after. What they want is subsidized propaganda. Let's not let it happen. 26, 28, 30 are our last chances to save us. Let's do it.
Hi everyone, my name is Maxine Irvin. I just want to say that vouchers are stealing our public money to pay for our public schools. Vouchers started off as a great idea to help underperforming schools way back when. But it's gotten to a point that it's taken money that should be going to public schools and instead is sending it to private, mostly religious schools. And what happens? The schools are underfunded. We get levies, it raises our property tax, and we can't afford to live in our homes anymore. And it's a vicious cycle that will continue on and on and on and on and on until we get this voucher ripoff stopped. So it is really vital to all of us to fight against this expanded voucher program and get the money back into the public schools and out of the private schools. Our public schools are what's important for our community, for our children, and for our future. That's where most of the students go, are to public schools. So, let's fund the public schools and stop funding the private schools.
Good evening. My name is Liz George Stump. I'm a member of the Upper Arlington Board of Education. I see some of my friends. Yeah. Listen, disclaimer, I'm not speaking on behalf of my board or the district. Gotta do the fine print, right? I ran for office in 2023 because I was tired of extremists in my community making it harder for my kids' teachers to do their job and help our kids learn. What I didn't have on my bingo card when I was elected was that the state legislature would pick up that attack on our public schools. So I want to say thank you to all of you that called and sent emails and texted and posted on social media, because it is your advocacy that helps us stave off the worst of those attacks. You being here tonight helps us do that. And as an elected official, I can tell you that it matters. We hear you, we see you, keep it coming, we're in it with you. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Trish Barker with Progress Hilliard here in Hilliard, Ohio. We've been fighting for a while. As you know, what's going on down the street is a partisan event, which happens to have a public appointed superintendent at it and speaking on the Diaz. So I'm going to give you all an action item. Todd Hoagley is the superintendent of tolls. Tolls is the, we used to call it JVS in my day, the vocational academy that feeds from Hilliard, Dublin, and other places. Be sure to send an email to tolls and to the school boards that you have here in your communities that you do not want public superintendents standing up and talking at a partisan event about public schools disappearing. He should be 100% talking about public schools. So please take away that action item. And then secondly, as somebody mentioned, 25, it's off-year elections, as people say it, but it's still elections. And what happens in this cycle is the municipal elections, which includes city councils, township trustees, and most importantly, the school boards. Now, I know Hilliard, we have 3 candidates running, and only 3, and so, I mean, they're basically already in, right? But I know Southwest is where the fight's gonna be this year. Other districts are gonna have a huge fight. So please, put your time, money, and efforts into fighting those anti-public school boards. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is, thank you. My name is Jamil. I am with Pint Size Protesters, and first, just a huge thank you for everyone for coming out in support of public education. Thank you for the youth and the young people. You've got lots of action items today. We've talked about checking your candidates, looking at your ballots, researching people that are running for school board. I will take that one step further and to say, support your school board that you believe in, that stand up for your values. Support your teachers, your administrators, your bus drivers, your everything. They are under attack, as we know. Our entire school system is under attack. And what they need right now is to hear more of the voices that say, we love you, we support you. This is an excellent way to also get your youth involved. We love seeing them here at these actions. Take your youth to that school board with flowers, with cards, whatever. Make sure that you're showing appreciation for the people who are taking care of our students in the classroom. The last thing that I want to say is, it's so easy for people to say that, this is a conversation about being, pro-public, anti-private, and that's not what this is about. We've talked about the statistic that over 90% of Ohio students are in public schools. This is a conversation about education for all. Those 90% don't have access to the privates, the charters, all of those other things. So if we are funding our money and our resources into anything different than a public school, we are saying that those 90% don't matter. And that's not what we want to stand for here in Ohio. So continue as you have this conversation, that language about this is education for all. We are not fighting private schools. We are protecting the 90%. We are making sure the 90% is resourced. And last thing, because I wouldn't be Jamil from Pint Size Protesters if I didn't say this, this isn't a fight for everyone, from the 3 to the 103. So this, unfortunately, is the start of a very long journey ahead, and it's going to take all ages and generations, and there's a spot for everybody in this. So don't just think it's just you or just the adults. Bring your youth, get them involved, and if you need to know how to do that, we can help you. So thank you.
Well, everyone, first of all, I'd like to say thank you so much for coming out here today. This means the world. I am Brian Perry. I'm a school board member here in Hilliard, and it's phenomenal to see my community show up and turn out in favor of public education. I'll also say that I wasn't invited to the meeting that was happening here in my community with me being a school board member. I'm also the son of a teacher, the brother of a teacher. Started in Columbus City Schools and then went over to Dublin now. Public education is the foundation of what a community is. And I'll tell you right now, I am probably one of the least important people in this area right now. The most important people are those folks. The little child over there, it's the youth of America. That's what we're talking about right here, and they know it. They know it. Because they know when people learn, people vote. When people vote and then they've been educated, it doesn't look so great for them. What's happening right now, this is where I put my tinfoil hat on for a second. What is happening right now is the intentional defunding of public education for the purpose of funneling money into privatization. That's what they're doing. They've stopped the guise that they're in favor of public education. They're just blatantly saying it and doing it at the state house and at the federal level nowadays. It's a money laundering scheme. They force you into a private school by defunding your public school, and then they take that money and they put it right back into the donors, like the donors that are donating to Vivek Ramaswamy. It's pretty clear what's happening here. It's been happening for a long time, but I'll say this. In Hilliard, we've had our battles. We've had our battles over the years, and I'll tell you right now, like Trish said, we've come out victorious. I think that we've turned the corner, and we've proven that Hilliard is a community that supports public education over and over again, time and time again. And I am so proud that we're doing that. We're going to continue to do that going forward for us, for our community, for all communities, and for everyone in the United States who believes in public education. Thank you so much again for being here. Appreciate it.
Good evening, everybody. We're so glad that you guys came out. My name is Linda Wagner, and on behalf of Indivisible Central Ohio, I'd like to again welcome you, and thanks again for your efforts here on behalf of public education. I think we all can agree that public education is vital to a burgeoning democracy. And since Indivisible is focused on supporting democracy and fighting those who are trying to take our democracy apart, we are totally behind public education because we need that for a functioning democracy. So again, I just want to thank you guys for being out here and enjoy yourselves, talk among yourselves, and continue to pay attention and talk to your neighbors. I can't tell you how many times those little conversations have made a big difference in somebody's understanding of issues, and especially some of the issues that we're talking about. Vouchers. So many people don't understand the voucher situation. They don't understand what the legislature just did about funding. So anything that you can share with your neighbors will be very helpful. And we have some quarter sheets here that can help you. So please pick one of those up. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks again. Anyone else want to speak? You can come on up. Otherwise, the event down the way is supposed to go until 8 o'clock. This event is supposed to go until 7-ish, but I know some people are coming to catch the end. So you are welcome. There's pizzas, there's waters. I do want to take a moment to thank the groups that were involved in this. So we have Ohioans Against Extremism, my organization, Honesty for Ohio Education, Indivisible Central Ohio Pint-Sized Protesters, Columbus Education Justice Coalition, and Central Ohio Rank and File Educators. So thank you all for being here again. Like Linda said, enjoy the community. These are like-minded people who care about the things that we care about. So thank you again, and have a good night.